Good evening. My name is Odie Hawkins. It's Monday evening. I'm getting to this a little later than usual because I am. And before I start on the reading of an ancient column from the African Time newspaper, where I wrote a column called Africa Media Watch, 1996 to 1999, I'd like to say, here is what my latest book looks like. Quadroon balls and bright moments. And there's a novella. I started off with a novella about the women called quadroons who formed alliances with rich white men in 19th century, 18th century New Orleans. Very interesting story.
It can be purchased on Amazon or internet. Just put in quadroon balls and bright moments, or just Google Odie Hawkins.
They had a ball.
Yeah, there you go.
This one is called It's Our Time. It's Our Time. I wrote it in January of 1999. A warm feeling circulates through my body. The kinky was well made, firm, with that exquisite sourdough aftertaste that comes when the corn has been properly milled and soaked. The groundnut stew was not too thick or thin, and the wachinango was as firm as steak. The New Year has taken my eclectic appetite to 6 African restaurants already, and I'm headed for number 7 by the end of the week. Strangely, I find myself enjoying these outings with African friends, seldom with African American friends. I'm puzzled. I ask questions. It's always the Mexican place, the Chinese, Italian, Indian, whatever, but not African restaurants. Why? I just don't have a Jones for that kind of food. I don't quite know what goes in it. Ironically, the speaker has a mom who would be right at home in any Nigerian kitchen after a few spicy adjustments were made. Oh well, to each his own. The kinky-fed warmth causes me to stare out of the window of the restaurant with a lazy bunch of thoughts. How long will the fundamentalists in Algeria continue to slash villager throats? What's going on there? Morocco. Who would have believed that the playboy king Hassan would become a responsible ruler, a consummate politician over the years? Gaddafi might be thought to be the Dennis Rodman of the North African states, but it's quite obvious that he's as bad as he wants to be. Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Chad are becoming deserts, forcing millions down the west coast. So Sudan, so much misery in such large doses. How many thousands will starve to death next week? Egypt, defying many traditionalists, have a system of all-girls schools. Somebody in the government took a look at some pretty ratty statistics. 64% of the boys and men 15 years or older can read and write, while fewer than 39% of the girls and women can, and decided to do something about it. 1993. Imagine what it would feel like to be surrounded by newspapers, magazines, books, street signs, and be unable to decipher anything. Some Egyptian feminists have reservations about the idea of maintaining separate gender school systems, arguing it will encourage archaic ideas about girls and, in effect, give them inferior educations. There's a rock and a hard place here. They can have something that is better than what they've had, but it isn't as good as it should be. Novelist Nawa Sadawi fears that the state is surrendering to religious fanatics rather than fighting a more liberated fighting for a more liberated society. I am very much against girls being educated alone, Sadawi said. I am for co-education from the beginning of school all the way to university. Boys and girls are together on the streets and everywhere else, so why should we separate them in education? It's very unnatural. The schools are largely to be the one-room variety, but the effects of being exposed to new notions, information about family planning, health and hygiene, environmental concerns, and eradicating the still widespread practice of female circumcision are being felt throughout the society. There is hope. What's going on in Gabon, Cameroon, Burundi, Tanzania, Malawi, Eritrea, all those places in Africa that receive so little notice, usually. I sit and sip another ginger beer. Wool gathering, flicking back and forth mentally. What effect will the euro currency have on the various African economies? There's certainly be some kind of effect. Have to talk to my friend PK about this. She knows all about money. Angola, what a terrible situation the Portuguese left behind them when they cut out in 1975. Many of us want to blame the warring factions for the present set of circumstances. Not fair. If there had not been a Salazar in Portugal, there would not have been a Savimbi in Angola. Strangely, incredibly, unbelievably, Africans and African diasporans are the only beings on the planet who are asked to dismiss the effects of negative history. Ah, come on guys, let's forget about slavery. That's been over for quite a while now, okay? Would anybody dare ask the Armenians to forget the Holocaust inflicted on them by the Turks? The mind-numbing cruelty of the Japanese occupation of Korea for 36 years. The Anglo-Sioux genocide of the Native Americans. Well, they try every year with Thanksgiving. The Jews under the Nazis. The Japanese at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Vietnamese War. Where does that come from? This glib suggestion that we divorce ourselves from our history. I wonder what kinds of countries, Angola, Congo, Gabon, Cameroon, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Senegal, Gambia, and Mauritania would be if they had not been source elements for the slave business. A very dark man enters the restaurant smiling, although as though he has just discovered a barrel of new money. We exchange pleasant nods. His red and black zebra-striped shirt is an eye feast. The colors flash me back to Monday, December 7th, 1998, the Beverly Hills Hotel, Beverly Hills, California. Celebrate Africa Festival. The purpose? To promote the understanding of a new Africa. The CEO of the African Times calls it a journey of honor. Finally realizing that I've missed the appointment I didn't want to make, I paid Stella and strolled out of the door, even thinking about Reverend Leon Sullivan's African American Summit in Accra, Ghana, May 17, 23rd, from May 17th to the 23rd, 1999. If we can bring Africans and African Americans together in an effort to make the world a better place, they will work throughout decades to bring it peace and prosperity for all. For more information on the summit, call 1 1-800-835-3530. 1-800-835-3530. If you don't get an answer or connection, remember that this column was written in 1996 and the telephone might not be in operation at this time. Mimba. Mimba.
It is website www.odiehawkins.com.